Welcome everybody. Today's YouTube video is being recorded live on my Twitch channel. Come by, stop by, twitch.tv/KingSilverdeath to check out recordings like these and more. But today we're going to talk about the Gzhel and level 5 armor, and the need for level 5 armor is getting higher and higher as the wipe is progressing. And you have options. I think the two biggest options whenever you're not max Ragman yet is probably between the Gzhel and the Corund. Gzhel sold by Ragman and Corund sold by Prapor. Now, I am not going to give you a ton of stats on the Corund because I think a lot of people already kind of gravitate towards that. And they say, hey, this is a really good armor or a good enough armor, and it doesn't set me back too much because it's, what, 112k from him if you're purchasing it, which you have to have max for him to purchase it. Or if you do the trade, you can get it, and you can buy the diaries off the flea market for anywhere from 100 to 120k after 4 diaries are purchased. So you can obtain a Corund, a level 5 armor, pretty easily from Prapor. However, the stats on it do hold you back a little bit. Okay, the stats you're going to find on there, they're going to have a good amount of negatives towards your run speed, your ergonomics. It's a heavier armor. It makes sense. And that's one stat I'm going to compare in just a sec because I didn't actually write it down. And that's the weight of the armor too. So, but Gzhel is a lot more movable. It even looks like you can move better in the armor. And the protection areas are the same. It's thorax, it's the stomach, that's it. Okay, a lot of other armors, they're specifically protecting the thorax, which is fine. I understand that. That's great. But when we're talking about these two level 5 armors and playing with level 5 armor, protecting the thorax is a thing. It's important. Okay. So what I did is I bit the bullet and I actually bought a 0 out of 65 Gzhel because I didn't have one already. Because what I'm going to talk about is part of this is insurance and insurance frauding and things like that. Okay. More or less how getting your armor back it may or may not make a difference. When you're dealing with a Corund, getting your armor back is actually not horrible because it repairs really well. However, unless you're ditching your own armor, I have been finding that most people are taking my armors as of late. Like, I'm not getting it back. I'm just not, okay? And so I don't have the number on how much it costs to insure the Corund. As I said, a lot of the stats on that, most people I think would just automatically insure it, but I think the insurance is probably about the same, okay? And if that's the case, the insurance on a Gzhel, whether it's full or not, is 29,596 rubles, okay? Let's go with that stat to start off with. The repair cost is 29,077 rubles, all right? All right, everybody got those numbers? Awesome. Now, a 0 out of 65, if you were to sell it to Fence, because that's the only trader you'd be able to, you would get 36,375, okay? So the insurance end of it we're going to discuss is that if you make this sale, all right, if you insure your gear, your rig, your armor, that's what I'm talking about. If you insure that armor for 29,596 and you get it back and you choose to sell it to Fence, you only gain 6,774 of rubles back. So literally, you would pay insurance. It would be like taking a rough thing here. What's 28? 28 divided by 4? Yep. So you pay 4 times the amount, a little over 4 times the amount of what you would profit if you got back. You know how many Vegas bookies would take those odds? What you're saying is that you should be able to get back your armor uh, uh, at least once every no, it's even worse than that. It's like you're basically saying like you should be able. Oh man, I don't have the number. Oh, it sucks. It sucks. But my point is that your profit, your estimated win, is not high enough to get that back. Okay. So now let's go back and let's think. Okay, what if we repair it? All right. We said our repair cost was $29,077. If we take that with the amount that we insure for, the total would be $58,673. All right. That's how much you would basically be paying to repair this again. Now you also have the issue of, am I going to insure it again for another $29,596? Because at that point, you're actually pretty close to how much it costs for a brand new one. Because the reason I say for a brand new one is because you're not buying this from Ragman brand new. You're actually going to do this trade, which is 2 gold chains and 3 coffees, which I've been kind of watching it. And if we do the search here and wait for the little circle to spin over and over again, because this is what happens from time to time. All right. The average cost of a gold chain is about 25K. If you get it lower than that, great. You're basically making money. Okay. And the average cost of the coffees is about 50K or 15K. Sorry, not 50. All right. So here we got 24.5, 24.99, 25, 25, 25. Okay. So you can see where like you can pick up a gold chain for about 25. So 2 gold chains, 25,000 each. That's 50K. All right. Let's go back here to Ragman, search off of this. And right now the coffees are a little higher than 15K, but I have found them around the 15K mark. And even if you get them a little bit higher, like that's 45K, your gold chain's slower, that tries to offset it basically. You're going to come out to an amount of 95K. All right. The Corund itself sells for 112,619K. All right. Or you can maybe get it from 100 to 120 depending on the diaries. Or you can find the diaries and trade them in. You can find gold chains real easy on maps like Woods, anywhere where there's a bed, because there's just like gold chains and chainlets everywhere. Okay. So you can get this pretty simple. All right. So then the question becomes, do you insure it? All right. Because the Gzhel repairs poorly. All right. Obviously, it's not going to always be zeroed out. It's not going to always cost that maximum to repair. But if I would repair it from 0, I would get 51.74 out of 65 for my actual amount of restored armor, which is still better than 1 Corund. But if you factor in that that's on the times that I actually get it back, and people have been taking armor very easily and just selling it, because it's one of the easiest things, especially during scavs. Like, you have to consider that scavs can find bodies pretty easily, all right? And people will just dump stuff out in the open, or, if they find something. Like, if you're on reserve and you have an armor and somebody takes it, okay? Like, either it's getting dumped onto a raider body and then the scavs are going to swarm over it. Like, obviously, map that you go onto might be something important. I would still suggest taking armor. Like, I'm not trying to say this all just costs money, insurance isn't worth it, don't take armor. Like, absolutely, you should probably be running some form of armor. Like, minimum level 4 at this point in the wipe, I think. Like, level 3's only gonna stop like some scav rounds, and with the new leg meta stuff, like it's honestly just worthwhile to make sure you can stop some higher end rounds to the chest, so that people have to try and aim for the legs, have to try and do a little bit trickier stuff. Okay, so in the end, what I'm trying to get at is that the Gzhel is a really good armor to pick up, and I honestly would just pick it up for the trade and not insure it. Because if you survive the raid and you have to repair it a little bit, fine. That's a little bit of repairs. doesn't matter too much, okay? But if you die and have to get your armor back, that's a problem, okay? That's a big problem because you're spending about half of what you have to get, or what you would normally spend to, well, let's say you're spending a quarter of it to get it back, and then another quarter of it to repair it to not a full bit, all right? Not a full strength. You are not at your full strength armor, okay? A full strength armor could take more shots, has less chance of a pen, and so you're spending a lot more money in on something that's not as good. So it might be just my personal opinion. I think the statistics, the math actually is there that you should not try to insure your some of your armors. I'm going to say some. If you're running as a group and they can stash it, it might be better. But whenever it comes down to repairability, whenever you want something a little more mobile, I think the Gzhel is an excellent example of not insuring your armors. I think once you get higher to like slicks, whenever they actually become more repairable, but they will cost more, you have to just kind of weigh that out. And we'll get there. Once I actually get Ragman to level 42 and I start running a few more slicks, I'll do that comparison too. I imagine I should be able to get a zeroed out slick or zero out a slick pretty easily. I might have the amount of funds I'm willing to actually throw in on that at some point too. But I don't think that we're at the level 6 armor point yet in the way. I think towards the end we'll get there, and that'll be more important. But that's basically what I wanted to cover. That's one of the reasons I did go live early today. So if you're watching this now on YouTube, thank you so much. Make sure you hit the sub button down below. I do stream live on Twitch about 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time most days. I am streaming live right now. You can always come over and check. It's twitch.tv/KingSilverdeath. And make sure you're following the channel and everything so that you can find out more on any of these talks that I do and any of the subjects that I cover. I got a lot more videos you can check out. I'll put 2 up and you can see them then. Thanks, guys. Have a great day. Bye.